Most founders walk into their quarterly planning with a half-baked agenda and hope that their team will just follow along. But here's the truth. If your leadership team doesn't help you build the plan, they won't execute it. In this video, I'll show you how to run a quarterly planning session that actually works. The same one I use with my clients to build buy-in, alignment, and energy heading into a critical quarter four. Before we dive into the framework, I want to give you something to run your next session right away. It's the quarterly planning playbook, and it walks you through step by step everything that I'm about to show you. It has templates for reflection, priority setting, and accountability. Everything you need so you don't have to build this from scratch. Click the link down below and follow along. And for the first 15 people that download, you'll get a free 30-minute session with me to game plan your next quarterly. Here's the 5-part playbook that I use with every client. Simple, structured, and focused on execution. Step 1 is to look back. This takes about an hour, sometimes a little more, depending on what you had for the last quarter, but you want to review last quarter's results. This is our goals, our KPIs, and see where we really stacked up measurement-wise from the company. Did we get our projects done? Did we get our revenue reached? Did we make our profit goals, etc., etc.? Then you want to see what you really did well, right? Not everything's about bad news. What did we do well? Let's celebrate here. Here's what we're doing well. Then we have to look at what we missed the mark with. Take some notes on that. How did we miss? What's not working? What's broken here? Did we set too many rocks this quarter? Did we give you guys too much, etc., etc.? You're trying to find out information and dig deeper into the company and find out what's going well and what's not working. After that, everyone goes around and gives the quarter a letter grade, A, B, C, D, or F, how they felt about the quarter. And for me and my clients, 90% or above, that's our goals. 90% of revenue, 90% of our profit target, 90% of rock completion or better. 80% is pretty good. Anything below 80%, you maybe set too many rocks, you didn't have the right people in the right seats, they didn't have the right plan, and you need to take a look at that. Step number 2 is to check the foundation of your business operating system principles. This should take anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, depending on where the company is at and how they performed this last quarter. Number 1, check your core values. Are our core values still alive and embodied? Step number 2, is our vision still clear? Step number 3, do we have the right people in the right seats? And step number 4 is where do we stand in accordance to our 1-year goal? Step 3 is identify issues and opportunities. Now, this is the bulk of the meeting, the real heart of the meeting, the discussions. This is where you get leadership team buy-in. This is where they get a say in what's going on with things. You let everybody come up with some issues, short-term issues, long-term issues. This is where everybody gets everything out in the open in your company. So by the time they leave this day, there's nothing that they're thinking about. An issue with an employee, an issue with the system, an opportunity for us to grow. Maybe if we start doing this, everybody gets a say in this meeting. And if you're the founder, your job is to talk the least, because more than likely you're going to have an answer, because that's why you're the founder. But your job is to sit there and let this conversation unfold and just ask questions and nudge and get other people inside the company thinking strategically. Let everybody say something. There's no wrong answers here. The more you could promote that, the more buy-in you're going to get in your company in the next step when we have to create these rocks. Step number 4 is create quarterly rocks. Now, if you're looking at this, we don't just start making rocks. We were looking back. We saw what we did well. What do we need to keep doing? What project didn't get done and we need to bring it to this quarter? That's looking back. Next, we check the foundation. If there's any cracks in the foundation, that needs to be a rock because we need to work on them. Do you need to update your core values? Do you need to update your vision? Or do you have to make some change in personnel? Those are rocks that you need to be setting. Then you led that into your issues. From these 2, we fed this issues and opportunities list, and you were able to discuss things and figure out things that really mattered, and people had a voice to say. And now you get into here and you set your rocks. I recommend 3 to 7 rocks per quarter, 3 to 7 priorities for the entire company. Anything more than that, you're setting too many rocks, cuts them out. It's easy to add a lot. It takes a lot to subtract. Then the next thing you want to do is assign an owner to every rock. Someone is accountable for that outcome. They don't need to do all the work. They could have their team and other people help them, but more than one person owning the rock means that no one owns the rock. And then after you set that rock, I want you to create something called milestones, because a rock is a 90-day project. But how do we know that Jimmy's on track after week 1, after week 2, after week 3? That's what milestones are. And you write that all down, because then in your weekly meetings, you could go, Jimmy, are you on track for your rock? And it holds everybody accountable in a bite-sized way. So don't skip on the milestones. milestones. It happens a lot of times inside of companies that I see. The milestones keep everybody on track and keep that momentum so that things get completed. All right, the fifth and final step is align and execution. This is where you talk about the scorecard, how you're going to measure success for this quarter. This is where you're going to talk about the meetings and everything that needs to take place so that when people leave here, these 3 to 7 priorities, you know how they're going to get tracked, you know how they're going to get executed, and so does everybody inside your business. We're all aligned, we're ready to go. This is how championship teams plan. Every quarter is a new game, and this is how you huddle, you align, and you execute. If you want to run your next quarterly like a pro with energy, alignment, and results, grab the quarterly planning playbook below. It walks you step by step through this framework. It includes templates for reflection, goal setting, and ownership. It helps your team build their own championship plan for the next 90 days. Download it and give your team a quarterly session they'll actually buy into. For the first 15 people that download it, you get a free 30-minute session with me to plan your next quarterly session. So here's the 4 facilitation shifts that change everything. Number 1, the founder doesn't dominate. Now, this is number 1 because it's the most important one. You started your company. You're the biggest presence in your company. But now you're at a point where other people need to step up. And that's going to come from you not dominating the conversations. Sit back. Let other people chat. Let other people step up. You're going to be really surprised what your silence brings to these meetings. And if you're having a problem, this is where you could hire a coach like me, for instance, that comes in and facilitates these meetings so that you could just sit back and be a participant. Either way, make sure you're not dominating the room. Number 2, start with energy. Think about the vibe that you're trying to create. I spend a lot of time with founders leading up to these quarterly meetings, planning out exactly what kind of vibe or what kind of feel that they want. We play different games. We watch different videos. We have fun segue questions. Whatever the vibe is that you're trying to create, be cognizant of it and create one intentionally because you want people focused, present, and ready to dig in helping the company grow and be better this quarter. Number 3, less is more. I mentioned this earlier. 3 to 7 priorities max. It's so easy to plan all these priorities, all this stuff. And a lot of times when I'm in meetings, I talk about what are we going to kill? What are we going to line out here? What doesn't align with our vision? What's not needed for this quarter? What's something that we could put off for next quarter? Because if too many priorities are set, things simply aren't going to get done. And if they are, they're not going to get done well. Less is more. 80 to 90% of rock completion is your goal every quarter. If you got 10, 12 priorities, good luck. Last is name owners. Every rock has to have one owner. It doesn't matter if other people help them. I mentioned this earlier. Other people could help them complete the rock. They can be in charge of tasks, but one person ultimately has to own that rock getting completed. Make sure there's only one owner and not 2 cooks in the kitchen per rock. One cook only. After facilitating over 100 quarterly sessions, these are some of the common pitfalls that I see even good teams falling into. Number 1, founder already has the goal set. Now listen, more than likely in your company, you know your business better than anybody else. You care the most, you work the most, yada, yada, yada. I've heard it all day. But if you come in there with your goals already set, you are at a bias of what needs to happen in that room. Your job is to maybe have a couple directions of where things need to go, but let the team get there. Lead them there with questions. Lead them there with problem solving. Nudge them to move to those issues and those kind of rocks. But if you walk in there with them already set, they're never going to buy in, they're never going to be aligned, and they just don't care. Next is tangents. In the beginning of the meeting, say, guys, I would like to reserve the right to raise my hand if anyone's going off on a tangent, anyone's going, wrong direction here and just getting long-winded, because we need to stay on track and stay focused on the things that really matter. This happens a lot of times, and believe it or not, you know who runs the tangents the most? The founder. Number 3 is no milestone. After you set a rock, someone's just supposed to go off in the next 90 days and figure out exactly what they're supposed to do? I don't think so. That's why setting those milestones. This needs to get achieved. This needs to get achieved next. This next, and this, so that by the time those 90 days are done, you knew if they were on track from week 1, week 2, and week 3, all the way to week 12, so that you could hold them accountable and get them help if they need to make sure that they're completing their rocks. Quarterly planning done right is a gift to your leadership team. It's not about adding pressure. It's about providing clarity. When your team helps shapes the goals, they own the outcomes. And when they own them, they execute like champions. If you want your quarter 4 planning session to be the one your team actually buys in on and follows through with, grab your quarterly planning playbook below. There's a step-by-step framework, templates for reflection, accountability, and goal setting, and it's designed specifically for founder-led teams ready to make it for the last quarter of the year. Download the playbook and make Q4 the best quarter of the year. And remember, the first 15 people that download the quarterly session playbook get a free 30-minute session with me to plan your quarterly, so you make sure that you're going in there with the right plan. And if you're going to your quarterly thinking that you need a core value revamp, watch this video next.